Hello, everybody.
Howdy.
Welcome to our home.
Yes.
Little bit different.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is a little bit different, isn't it? Yeah, we're not actually in our office right now. Obviously, we're sitting here in front of the Christmas tree, wishing everybody maybe an early Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving. It's actually the day after Thanksgiving, is what it is.
Yes, it is.
It's Black Friday, and notice we're not shopping.
Yeah, I have issues with crowds
Yeah.
with my health problems.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
got some tea here. It's a
Yeah.
chilly morning.
Yeah,
So
you can use this as a happy hour, I guess. Crack yourself a bottle of booze wherever you're at. Sit
Or
and
some
enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I got something for you.
What's that?
Do you know that one out of every seven governing body member is just as stupid as the other one?
No.
No.
You said it wrong. Yeah.
No, I thought I had that right.
No, you said it wrong.
Then please tell me how it
Okay.
should go.
If you think one out of every 7 governing body is as smart as the other, you might be in a cult.
Yeah, okay, I like that one a little bit better. Hey, I'm gonna show everybody how outdated the Bible really is. No, really. And now, I know a lot of you know that I use the Bible a lot, but I have to be honest here and show you just how outdated the Bible is. We all know that in front of the United Nations building, they got that huge sign, and they're quoting from Isaiah 2:4 that says that every nation will not rise against nation, kingdom against
Beat
kingdom.
their
Beat
swords
their
into
swords.
plowshares?
Yeah, they'll beat their swords into plowshares. Well, hell, only a fool would take a sword to a gunfight. That's how outdated the Bible is. Okay.
Well, we know many of you have been asking for a happy hour, and some like, I really need a happy hour, and yeah, we really need a happy hour too.
Yeah,
it's been kind of a stressful month for us.
Kind of mix things up a little bit.
Yeah, so we just got a couple of different things here.
Yeah, we don't know how long it's going to take because, like we said, we got a couple of things we want to talk about. I'll talk a little bit more about the Mandela effect, and for me, I'm going to just put an end to it so you can stop sending me these videos because it's just
yeah, we've been getting a lot of videos about the flat earth, the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
And me personally, I feel the Mandela effect and flat earth is all a distraction that the elitists, the globalists, whatever you want to call them, the powers to be, are doing. I actually think it is a military behavioral science project.
Yeah.
Because if you start researching, in the past, like in the 40s and 50s, many other countries were doing these same experiments,
Yeah.
messing with people and trying to get them under control and trying different things. So, I mean...
Yeah. So I'll talk a little bit about that. I've got a couple examples that, for me, I'm just going to flat out end this debate from my perspective because I've got some things that you just absolutely cannot argue if you're going to try to defend the Mandela effect.
Yeah. Plus, all these videos being sent in is kind of clogging up my emails.
Yeah.
But first, I wanted to mention we've had several of you, dear friends, want to send us donations. And, Mike and I, up to this point, everybody knows, I think we've pretty well established after 3.5 years that we are not into this for the money.
No, not at all.
We just want to help people. And many of you, have wanted to send us something and gifts and stuff. And, we've been turning you down. And we want to say we're sorry.
Yeah, it's been brought to my attention. And thank you, Blackjack, for kicking my ass.
Yes.
I have to say that.
Yeah, it's not a pride thing. It's actually a family environmental thing.
Yeah.
And I'll let Mike talk about that.
It really involves me. I just want to say that if we've offended anybody by refusing your donations, we sincerely apologize. The problem really stems with me, and I didn't even talk to Blackjack about this.
Yeah, well, what started it is we used to have a donation button on our website, watchtower.exposed, and Cedars and Informant really just hammered us, and then all of their little minions just started in on us. And, the hate was just unbelievable. But we've come to the realization that no matter what we do, those two are going to be causing problems and inciting hate against us. So we just don't care what them and their little followers,
No,
you
and
know, say
that's-
about us anymore.
And that's what Blackjack helped me to appreciate. So
Yes.
thank you, Blackjack.
So on with your family story.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to go back and make one little mention that because of a video that Informant had done, we took the donation button down a very long time ago, just simply because she was getting in front of the camera and accusing us of doing this for money and trying to make a living out of it. I think the fact that we took the button down immediately and have not had it up since then proves conclusively that we're not in this to make money. I work full-time. I love my job. Right now I have no desire to quit my job.
Have a side business. So,
Yeah.
you know, we do not want to do this as a business. It is not
No.
a business. It is not a church. So,
Yeah, but there again, I need, again, thanks to Blackjack, I need to learn to be a little bit more gracious. But I'll give you a little reason why, from my perspective, why I've been saying no. When I was growing up, my dad's mother, my grandmother, worked for GE for 30 years, and she made a lot of money.
buku bucks.
She also had a husband that they bought war bonds, invested in other companies, stocks and bond. She actually had a little portfolio, nothing huge, but
Well,
enough.
GE alone would give them stock.
Yeah,
you know,
stock in GE.
Stock
Yeah,
in
exactly.
GE. So, and I can remember her telling us that we wouldn't have to worry after she died because she had a trust fund for all of the kids, all of her grandkids.
Yeah. Well, her third child, her last child, my uncle, the entire time that I was growing up, this man never worked. He actually mooched off my grandmother. And he kept it up all the way till about the day she
He had a
passed away.
family and he wanted her to support him and his entire family.
And growing up, all I heard was, especially from my grandmother working at GE and being a very hard worker, she used to always instill into her grandkids, don't be like your uncle. You know, if you want things in life, you need to work for them. You need to show responsibility. Don't be looking for handouts like your uncle. So growing up with this, don't be like your uncle. Don't look for handouts because you need to work for the things that you have in life and the things you want, which is a very good work ethic. I don't disagree with that whatsoever.
My family was the same way. You know, we were all hard workers, and I even did construction with my dad.
Yeah.
You know, so we were all hard workers, and we were taught, you know, don't expect anything from anyone.
So over the years, our inheritances, the entire family's inheritances have been dwindled away, supporting this person, my uncle, that did not want to work because he knew he had a handout with his own mother. My grandmother was very gracious, very generous, but even my dad, it was very difficult to give even my dad a gift without him wanting to reach into his wallet and pay you for it. And my brother's even worse than I am, if you can believe that.
Oh, yeah.
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 But the problem is with me because when I see somebody wishing to donate money for what Kim and I are doing, I can't help but have these feelings come up that I'm taking advantage. Maybe in some way I feel like I'm being a bum. And especially when there's other accusations flowing out or being thrown about in the community about us doing this just to make a living and taking advantage of people. But anyhow, my grandmother passed away, and obviously there's all that money is gone. And in fact, I even talked to my aunt about this situation after my grandmother passed away, and had mentioned that my grandmother had told us that she put trust funds aside for all the grandkids. And my aunt was, you know, oh no, you know, your uncle got all of that. Your uncle, there's nothing there. And in fact, My aunt even gave me my grandmother's social security number so that I myself could do my own investigating. And to this day, we
Everything
can't
was
find
gone.
nothing. Everything's gone.
Everything was gone.
It's all gone. So anyhow, that being said, again, we apologize if we've hurt anybody's feelings, offended anybody. The problem's not you. The problem lies solely with me and my upbringing. And being Jehovah's Witnesses and living in an area where the economy was kind of slow, I actually, managing the rental yard, and I was actually making really good money. And for all those years that we lived in a certain area, it always ended up being Kim and I were the ones helping out the brothers, giving the money whenever a family needed some money. It was always Kim and I there first because we had the extra money to help out our brothers and sisters. And we found ourselves never on the receiving end when we needed help. We actually had to go to worldly friends, so to speak, to get the help that we actually needed. So that was kind of a wake-up call, controversy thing, call it whatever you want. But we always found ourselves, we always found that the brothers weren't there for us when we were in need. So we found that kind of ironic that when the brothers needed things, hey, well, let's go to Mike and Kim because, they got money.
I think we've mentioned before that when our house burnt down in, 1989?
Yeah, I think it was 89.
The first one that showed up was his ex-boss, the brother who married us and his family, and they just happened to have gone apostate. And, as usual, we said, thanks anyway, but...
The brothers will help us. Not. No way.
If it hadn't been for our insurance company, and them calling in, a service company that would come in and get everything and, getting us, a place to stay and stuff, brothers didn't do anything.
No.
So what we're going to do is, since we don't care what anybody says anymore, we are going to put the donation button back on our website, watchtower.exposed. And all you have to do is click on blog, and it should be in the upper right hand corner. Just give us a day or two to, have our dear webmaster, thank you, sweetie, get this up and running. And we appreciate it so much, all of your kind words and encouragement.
The words mean more to us than donations, honestly.
Yeah.
They honestly do.
But, thank you so much for everything, including the donations, because it does help. It helps us keep our website up and running, and, pays for things that we sometimes just don't have the money for.
Well,
So.
yeah. There again, life is tough on everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no denying that life is tough on
Yeah.
everybody.
And also, several of you have asked about our store.
Yeah.
And we always have a policy that we don't want to promote any material, websites or anything like that. But we're going to go ahead and do since it's our website, it's on Etsy. And I'm going to put the link down below in this video for our store. It's Lame Beaver Trading Company. And we don't have too much on there right now because we're kind of getting low on things because of the Christmas holiday.
Well,
People
yes
are
and no.
buying stuff. So we are going to, start putting some more things on there. And, we do have some of the old Watchtower literature that we have extra copies of on eBay under Lame Beaver Trading Company also. If you want any of the older literature or some of the items also. And I'll put the link to that down below also.
And when Kim says we're running low on stuff, I just need to clarify. With what we're doing, we make a certain amount of product that we just dedicate solely for the Etsy store. And then I make a lot more items that I dedicate solely to go with me at Rendezvous, because what we found out in the past that she may have something on the Etsy store and I've got it in my tote going to a Rendezvous, and more than once I've been at a Rendezvous and Kim will call and say, hey, do you happen to have this item?
Don't sell it.
Don't sell it. Why? Well, because I just sold it on Etsy. So what we're going to try to do is get more of my items moved over to the Etsy store because I actually, for my mobile store, I actually do have a lot of items. Flutes, knives, longbows, arrows,
Yeah. And I gotta
pouches.
say, he doesn't like to toot his own horn, but get your candle.
Oh,
He has
yeah.
designed an everlasting candle that is wonderful.
Let me get it. This is actually, having done a lot of rendezvous over the years, I've watched people light off wax candles. Hold on, let me put the wax candles.
I don't know if you guys can see this, but it is a copper candle full of oil with a wick. I wish he would have had one here separate from the lantern.
Well, I actually do.
Well, that's what I'm wanting.
Yeah, right there. I make a nice
He makes
base
them on
for
a
'em.
base. But these 3/4 inch ones last about 6 hours, you said?
Well, just depending on the height. I figured it out that the rate of oil burning per hour is about 1 inch of oil an hour. Now, that's tiki torch oil. These candles will burn any type of oil you have, but you have to keep in mind that if you burn like a thicker oil, like a peanut oil or some sort
Cooking
of
oil.
cooking oil or olive oil, that it'll actually burn the oil off quicker than you can draw oil up the wick. So that's why I recommend like a tiki torch oil, and even a paraffin oil will probably work. Just some thin oil so that it'll draw up as quick as it's burning off. But as you can see, it's a little invention of mine. Been at enough rendezvous that I've seen people light off wax candles, put them in their tent, their canvas tent, which is really nice. But then they
Highly
walk away
flammable.
from them, and the candle goes soft, and most guys have got wooden candle holders, so the candle lays over, and then you're just sitting on a pile of kindling. So I've seen that enough over 26 years, and I thought, well, you know, I need to reinvent the candle, and this is what I did. And actually at Rendezvous, I sell quite a few of these.
And what's funny is I think it was Crazy Crow Trading Company come up with something like this. But what they did is they had a cork right here. And it's like, okay, we see the problem. Cork
Yeah.
soaks up the oil and then...
You're right there next to, and or the oil dries out the cork also, and then the cork becomes very brittle.
Flammable too.
Very flammable. So anyhow, you know, we will put, you know, these items up on our Etsy store. Haven't quite decided what we're going to charge for them, but with the walnut base and the work that's involved, we're probably looking at about maybe $25 a piece. But it's the last candle you'll ever have to buy.
True. True.
And then I do have an infomercial of sorts on my Lane Beaver channel, right?
Well, I was going to say,
Talking
I
about
do
this?
have some of these candles listed, and
Okay.
there is an infomercial down in the description of the candles where he demonstrates how to use them and how he makes them and stuff. So
Yeah, so anyhow,
anybody interested can go check that
Yep.
out. And I just wanted to thank Curtis, who sent me some information here. And it was, you know, if Kingdom Halls are dedicated to Jehovah, and we've all been to a Kingdom Hall dedication talk, usually given by a governing body member or someone of the Anointed or someone from Bethel, if these Kingdom Halls are dedicated to Jehovah, then how can they turn around and just sell them for profit? Wouldn't that be something like selling the temple tabernacle? You know, let's just sell Solomon's temple. Oh my God, it's covered with gold. We could get billions.
Yeah.
You know, isn't that the same thing? So how can you sell, you know, Jehovah's dedicated temple just for profit? Or all his buildings and stuff there. It's like,
well, that's
good
what
point.
happens. That's what happens when you shut down critical thinking.
Yeah. Oh, let's just move on and sell the tabernacle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. And I'm sorry I don't have a name written down for this one. The Bible canon was chosen by Christendom, so how come Jehovah's Witnesses accept the Bible canon as it is?
When it's
But-
chosen by Babylon the Great.
Yeah, so shouldn't you be listening to Christendom and their view of their doctrines of the Bible?
If you're using their Bible, you should be following their doctrines exactly.
Yeah. And if this Bible canon was chosen by Christendom, then how can you, you know, why don't you question then like the Book of Enoch and some of these others apocryphas? You know, if it was Christendom that chose these Bible books,
then you should be looking elsewhere, because Christendom is Babylon the Great, and Jehovah's going to destroy them, right? Jehovah's Witnesses? Yeah.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
But I just want to mention, we've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about what's going on politically, not only in this country, but around the world. And if you guys want to check out a hilarious video that is sad at the same time, you just go to YouTube and Google what Egypt thinks of the U.S.
Yeah.
and Obama. And it's like,
yeah.
oh my God, you know, they show this clip. This is an actual newscast that was shown in Egypt. And they show a clip of Obama saying that a threat to national security of the United States is global warming. So then they go back to the newscaster and he's like, what, is he insane? You know, that is their national threat? You know, national
Global
security
warming?
threat? Global warming? It's funny. But, you know, in watching all of these videos in like China and Russia saying basically the United States, so many countries are saying the United States is a joke.
Yeah.
And it got me to thinking, yeah, it hurt.
Better you than me.
Yeah. So if the United States and Britain are the Anglo-American dual world power, according to Watchtower, if these two countries, this Anglo dual world power, has now become a joke to the world, and China's saying they're the new superpower and Russia is the new superpower, well, get ready to prepare your doctrines, because I predict you're going to have to change that unless the United States makes a major turnaround.
Yeah, well, there has to be a lot of other things happen before the United States can do that.
Yeah, but I see, you know, the Watchtowers might have to change their doctrine here, or tweak their prophecy a little bit. Oh, maybe it's the 10 horns, you know, on the wild beast or
Yeah.
something, all coming together.
I'm sure they'll do something to try to
so
fix it.
Watchtower,
because
you better start thinking about that one.
Yeah, because just remember, one governing body member is just as stupid as the other one.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, you through?
Yep, I'm done.
All right, I'll go.
I made my prediction. And
There you go. I'm going to blow out the candle here real quick, because I'm going to need a little bit of room for this. Okay, getting to the Mandela effect.
like I said, we've been getting a huge amount of videos that have
Yeah.
been clogging up our...
Yeah.
Not that I don't appreciate
No,
them, it's
no,
just that I
we
don't
do.
have time to watch all of these
don't
about
have
the flat earth and Mandela effect and stuff.
Time to watch
Especially
them all.
when, you know, we've got our own ideas
Yeah.
about
Well-
what is going on.
Yeah, if you really pay attention to those videos on the Mandela effect, you'll see that there's a theme that runs through it all. And it seems to be corporations that are playing little games
Logos.
with their logos.
or movies.
Or movies. There's another channel out there, Jacob Israel. The guy is a Christian man. The guy has good camera presence. He's good thought.
We like several of his videos.
We like a lot of his videos, but I actually have to start taking exception to the ones that the past 2 or 3 that he's done on the Mandela effect. Just simply because he goes and he grabs these little clips of commercials. I think your cat fell. Yep, your cat fell in the washing machine.
Continue.
Oh, okay, she's out. She's out. Dumb cat. Hey, don't you know you're ruining our happy hour? So anyhow, it's occurring to me, and especially in his very latest, it appears that the Mandela effect is having a reversal right now. So if you pay attention, you're going to see, but he uses a couple of clips that are on YouTube, proof that the Mandela effect is real, and he grabs a clip from a woman, from some young gal that buys a couple packages of Tidy Cat, spelled
Cat litter.
C-A-T, cat litter. She puts it in her closet. A couple days later, she opens up and it's changed to Tidy Cats, plural. Oh my God, it's a Mandela effect. That's proof. No, it's not, because she didn't bother to take a picture of Tidy Cat before she put it in the closet, and there was not a camera on these products the entire time so that we could physically see Tidy Cat now becoming Tidy Cats.
Well, I thought it was Tidy Cat all along.
So did I. But that's the kind of nonsense that these people are playing with their games.
Oh, Ford now is putting a little tiny curly Q on their F on their logo on their vehicles.
Companies change logos for one reason or another. A lot of times we know that in this day and age, companies are merging together. So when companies merge, logos change. So there's a reasonable explanation
They're always
for that.
updating,
Yes.
logos.
Now, myself being a drummer, pardon me, I know for a fact that the Zildjian Cymbal Company, when they come out with a new series of cymbals, this one's kind of old, what they do with their cymbals dictates the era that these cymbals are made. Back in this day, when this was made in the 60s, they used to use a heavy stamp to stamp deeply into the cymbal, and then in the cymbal they would use a series of dots. That was to time stamp their cymbal so that somebody like me who's a serious drummer can go to a store, pick up a cymbal and say, oh, okay, that logo right there, okay, cool, this was made back in the 60s because the logo time stamps the cymbal.
It changes every 10 years, if I remember right.
Yeah, it does change.
And for different styles of symbols and stuff.
Yeah, so as we go through time,
Scoot forward, you're going to knock the tree down.
Zildjian started inking their names in symbol. This, again, dates it. But if you look at the logo, you can go online and research this, but if you look at the logo, now it becomes a shallow stamp. They started doing that during a different era so that they could time stamp their product. So when we look at all of these changes that everybody's trying to prove that this is the Mandela effect, we got two universes merging, keep in mind that the proof everybody's using only comes from the commercial world. Now,
and we also know from Shyla taking several college courses that they say the human memory is
Poor.
bad.
Poor. But
and can be changed.
Yeah. But with this particular YouTuber doing the video, I found it a little misleading that he used to be a writer for the WWF. No, wait a minute. It's the WWE. No, wait a minute. Was it... I remember it being the WWF, World Wrestling Federation. He used to write for them. And we all know that those scripts are just pure fiction, aren't they? I mean, those guys get in the ring and they're not really beating the crap out of each other. I mean, that is true, right? I mean, those guys are not really beating the crap out of each other.
If it's real, why do they need writers?
Why do they need writers? So, but here again, it's not the Mandela effect. Now you can, if you've got WWE or WWF videotapes in your house like I do, if you watch enough of the older clips, you can see that the WWF made a concentrated effort to get that logo off of all of those videotapes, but there's several that they missed. What happened is that the World Wildlife Federation either wanted sole ownership of that logo, and if I remember right, Vince McMahon struck some sort of deal, and that's why when the WWF changed to the WWE, Vince McMahon, the owner of the WWF, kind of offended a lot of people because he would write underneath the new logo, the WW, with the saying, "Get the F out." And a lot of people found that offensive, so he really didn't use that for very long, but by then everybody had already known what was going on. So that's not the Mandela effect. So if you go pick up an old video and you see, you know, the turnbuckle with the WWF, and then you fast forward to a more modern day and it's got a WW, that's not the Mandela effect. It's just that the people that were responsible for blurring them out just missed a few. Now, I'm going to end it right here. If this Mandela effect was real, let's just, for the sake of argument, let's say it's real. I'm going to sit here in front of this camera and say that the 1969 Chicago Cubs won the World Series. For you sports enthusiasts, let that sink in for a minute. The 1969 Chicago Cubs really won the World Series. Despite what we watched in 2016 that they won again this year, my timeline, my Mandela effect says that they won it. No, everybody that's associated with sports knows damn well that it was the New York Mets. That's why you have the phrase, the amazing Mets, 1969. As much as everybody's trying to prove the Mandela effect is real, there's something else that I've been noticing very closely. Not a single one of these videos proving the Mandela effect is real has ever touched any sport statistic. Not a single one. That's why I know this is all bullcrap and somebody is out there trying to do some sort of sociology study. And kudos to Jacob Israel, because he actually grabs a couple of articles in that video that he did showing that in times past other countries have done sociology type studies.
Behavioral science
experiments. Now it's interesting because this has got everybody distracted. While we're all pissing and moaning, fighting and argue whether the Mandela effect is real or not, whether the flat earth is real or not.
Whether you support Trump or Hillary.
What's going on behind the scenes that they don't want us paying attention to?
Well, let's see. Obama just signed in an executive order, I believe it was Friday before last. Actually, it would have been a week ago today.
I believe so.
That gives him authority to control all of the resources, food, water, military, and everything, which could give him the power to do a martial law.
To declare martial law.
Did anybody hear this on the mainstream media? No. And what we're saying is don't take the mainstream media at face value. I mean, they are... Has anybody heard about the rich oil strike they just made in Texas that allegedly is the second largest in the world?
In the world.
Has anybody heard about that?
How come the news media is not playing this up? How come we're not paying attention? Or is it because we're all too busy fighting over whether the flat earth, whether the earth is flat or the Mandela effect is real? It's like, wow, there's a grand awakening going on in this planet right now. It's not just the United States of America. Look at the amount of people that are just waking up out of Watchtower right now because of YouTube and the internet.
Well, look at what we have gotten so many messages. Thank you, so many. Thank you, everyone. I was on our website going through comments and messages on there, and there was at least 3 that says, I'm a current Jehovah's Witness, and I'm just now waking up thanks to the 2017 February Watchtower study.
Yeah.
So, Philip, sweetie, thank you so much for giving us that information, because, you know, this is just amazing of them actually printing this. They're still roving about, and it all boils down to, well, then what proof do you have that they are the anointed, that they are the chosen, faithful and discreet slave, that they're the governing body, that, you know, Christ has chosen? Question, and I know I've mentioned this before. Why would Jesus Christ, the head of your congregation, make you rove around in the dark and not positively give you the absolute perfect spiritual food?
So what you're claiming is that, you know, Jesus Christ, the head of the congregation, the true shepherd, is not feeding you properly. But which also begs another question. These governing body members that claim they're anointed, if you're anointed, then how can you not be inspired? Think about that.
Yeah.
If you're anointed by God's Holy Spirit, so they claim, then how can you not be inspired? Aren't the two synonymous with each other? Absolutely.
Yeah.
My goodness.
I'm sorry, I can't read my writing, but someone else sent me a question. I love, you know, our viewers are the best because you guys are so smart. You're researching, you're thinking, you're using your critical thinking. Love you guys. Another person came up. Okay, we know that over in California, Watchtower just lost that lawsuit this past summer to Jesse Lopez for $13.8 million. Now, this is the same case that Garrett Loesch was asked to show up and testify.
Yeah.
And he refused. He did his little crappy deposition of, oh, well, I have no control over Watchtower. Okay, the question is, Jehovah's Witnesses may not care what is in their magazines. You know, they may not care about, you know, their governing body's not inspired. Well, hit them in the pocketbook. Okay, do you care then the fact that maybe if Garrett Loesch would have showed up at that court case, that he could have convinced them to go in Watchtower's favor and saved Watchtower that $13.8 million? Think about that.
Yeah, instead he tries to do the next best thing and it costs you
Cover
all
their
that money.
asses.
Yeah.
You know, cover their asses.
Yeah, are you through with that?
I think so. I may rant about it in the future, but
I just have another observation that I want to express here. As waking up members of society, and especially as waking up members of the Watchtower Babel Crap Society, there are a number of books out there that are very helpful, very useful. And you know, over the past few years that Kim and I have done this, there's been a few that have tried to make a play for certain books to make it their own, throw their logo on it. That's the Mandela effect. That was the Mandela video. That video doesn't really exist.
it didn't really happen.
It didn't really happen, yeah. The observation that I want to make is that, yes, books are very helpful, but let's not fool ourselves into thinking that the books are much more effective than YouTube videos. Just think about that for a moment.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing the expressions, you're seeing the emotion, you're seeing side-by-side contradictions from Watchtower.
You're seeing hard copies and scans that many of us show you and hold up and read directly from.
Yeah. So do not, as YouTubers, do not convince yourselves that reading a book is much, much more effective than you being in front of the camera. And in fact, if you think reading a book is going to wake someone up, do a better job than you can in front of the camera, then you know what? Get off of YouTube. If you actually think that book has more power than you being in front of this camera right now, then maybe you should not be doing YouTube videos. Maybe you should just be stepping back. Because this medium right here is the most powerful weapon we have against Watchtower. You yourself doing videos is the single most powerful weapon we have today.
Yeah.
Before the invention of YouTube and other mediums, the books were the most powerful medium.
Well, I was
But
gonna
right now,
Yeah, I was going to say the majority of emails that we get of people waking up, you know, Jehovah's Witnesses
not because of
waking
reading
up,
books.
is because they stumble on a YouTube video and watch it. And then they go and find the literature and look it up. And it's like, oh my God, they're right.
They're
what
right.
else are they right about? So then they go watch another video, you know, and then they start watching other videos. And we get far more emails saying that happened. And
Yeah.
entire families coming out because they started watching YouTube videos. So, you know, not that we're downplaying crisis of conscience. We are not. And we're hoping, you know, for an updated version here soon. But, you know, don't downplay the effectiveness of YouTube videos.
that you yourself have.
Yeah.
Because
And I mean,
it's,
let's face it, many people do not have the time to read a 400-page book.
no.
But, you know, if you can listen to a video at work and say, hey, you know, when I get home, I'm going to look this up. And, hey,
Boom.
you know, Mike and Kim are right. This is in that book.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
And let me just kind of illustrate a little bit how that is more valuable to us, if that's the right word or not. I watched a video from Jason Zelda regarding the King James Version. with the ye's and the these and the thous. And he explained that with the these and the thous, there's certain things that you have to know as a reader. For instance, he used the scripture regarding Peter and Jesus. I don't remember the scripture specifically. I'm just kind of going off from memory. I kind of remember the context. That where Jesus turned to Peter and said that, Satan is demanding, your soul. And then he turns to the rest of his disciples that, actually, I'm kind of getting this all backwards right now. But anyhow, the point that I'm getting to is that in that particular conversation in the King James Version, it's made much more understandable that when you look at the ye's and the these, that there's hand gestures that go along with that. When you read a book and you don't see a hand gesture, then you don't know that if Christ in that particular scene didn't turn to the other disciples and said, but you, Satan is demanding your soul. So when you read it in modern English in you and your, it gives the impression that Jesus is talking to Peter only. But if the other disciples were there and Jesus said, but Satan is demanding your souls and has a hand gesture in there, it makes that come much more alive and much more understandable. So that's why this medium that we're using today, the internet and YouTube in particular, becomes the absolute greatest weapon against Watchtower, because now we can use our gestures. You can see we make it come alive, and we try not to leave anything up to the imagination so that it's misunderstood, misinterpreted. And there again, when things are misunderstood and misinterpreted, you have the ability to ask the question, and we can come back and do another follow-up video like the one the governing body not inspired revisited. And again, I'm just going to say why I think that is so important. Why what they said is so important, because I go back to what we said before. If you are anointed and you are the faithful and discreet slave class, when you meet to dispense the spiritual food, then how can you not be inspired? One plays against the other. One cancels out the other. So it becomes much more valuable today when we can express these things with tone of voices, proper pausing, everything else like that. Lowering of the voice, letting it sink in a little bit. That's why this medium today, Watchtower, is your death. Because you've got too many people, too many ex-witnesses that are finding the courage to get in front of this camera and say exactly what we're saying right now. The end of Watchtower is at hand, because there's too many Jehovah's Witnesses waking up. We're getting emails all the time from you dear friends that know of a Kingdom Hall that's closing up because there's only 50 people sitting in the seats. This is a losing proposition for Watchtower right now. And despite what you hear any governing body members say, oh, we're growing by leaps and bounds, we're going to put a new Kingdom Hall here. Yeah, you're building Kingdom Halls that look like banks with drive-up windows, so that when you turn and sell them, you can make a bigger profit, because now they got windows in it and they're much more convenient for another business to use that building to their advantage without having to spend more money to put windows in a stinking windowless building.
Well, in the town I grew up in, Prescott, Arizona, they just built a new Kingdom Hall, and same thing, it looks like a bank, and they had a governing body member show up to dedicate that Kingdom Hall. Well, does that mean then they're going to consolidate all of the congregations in that whole, Tri-City area into this one Kingdom Hall and start putting those Kingdom Halls up for sale? We don't know. Time will tell.
Time will tell.
But it was interesting in his dedication talk that he just kept saying, oh, we're growing faster than we can keep up with Kingdom Halls. And, how great we are and the whole 9 yards, when we know, no, this is not what's going on.
Just the opposite's true. The opposite is true.
Yeah, and it's sad, that they're deceiving people.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So
anyhow,
I think that was all I had to say.
Yeah, same here. Let's just remember that, friends, we live in a digital world today. Anything and everything can be changed with just a little pixel. A digit.
Oh, I even seen a commercial with Marilyn Monroe for a Milky Way candy bar.
Well, I was just going to say, you remember when we all went to digital? Hollywood started making commercials with John Wayne, James Dean, Steve McQueen. Hey, I got news for you people. Those guys are dead, so how can they still appear in a modern day commercial?
Oh, it must be an alternative timeline coming.
It's an alternate timeline when these people are still alive, right?
Yeah.
See, this is what we're getting at with all of this. It's so easy to deceive people today, especially with what you see coming from the media. Anything can be altered with just a pixel. So let's keep that in mind and hold on to what you know to be the truth.
Yeah, exactly. So we hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for listening to our video. Welcome everybody, to new subscribers. And please go to watchtower.exposed. I did put all the information on there for the tech transfer because I had a lot of people ask for, that information because it's a big thing in the UK, having, even being trained by the military. So, go to watchtower.exposed, click on blog. And the one about the tech transfer as of today, November 25th, 2016, should be the top blog. Just click on that and it's got the scans and the links and everything. So I had to redact personal information of the person that leaked this to me. So I'm sure you all understand that has to remain anonymous.
Yes.
And so we all want you to have a wonderful weekend. You have anything else to say?
Yeah, you're going to town after we do the video, right?
Yeah.
Good, then I get to play my drums. I only get to play my drums when she takes off.
Yeah, it's loud.
Yes, it is.
Wow. So we love you all.
Thanks for watching.
Have a wonderful week.
And just a friendly reminder, if you're a current Jehovah's Witness, please think twice before liking and subscribing any of our videos because we would not want you to accidentally out yourself through other social media since everything is so interconnected these days. Be very, very careful. We'd love to have, twice as many subscribers, but Kim and I come with a warning. Be very careful. We know because
we understand.
We don't want you to out yourself when you're not ready to come out.
Yeah, exactly.
Publicly. Yeah.
Exactly. And like I said, go to watchtower.exposed and click on the contact button if you want to remain completely anonymous and it's completely private, and send us a private message and I will get that. And we do not reveal anyone's information unless they give us permission to. So you're perfectly safe, even you Jehovah's Witnesses, we will not reveal who you are. You're perfectly safe. And so that being said, before we run out of battery, you all have a wonderful weekend. We love you. Bye.